Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here. Welcome to my 100% full game walkthrough for Doom Eternal. This will be a video series separated mission by mission, and in each video I'll show you not only how to beat the mission, but how to unlock everything in the game while you're doing it. This includes all collectible types like cheat codes, toys, weapon mods, Codex pages, the album collection, and I'll also be showing you how to do things like upgrading your suit and completing all of the mission challenges. While we're at it, I'll also be showing you all of the extra lives available in each of the missions. If you are mopping up and aren't interested in watching the entire video, time links for individual items are available in the YouTube description. Additionally, in this video series, I will be skipping cutscenes when possible just to slim down the videos, and the runs should be pretty optimized as I play every mission a few times before filming for this guide. Additionally, this is a normal playthrough on normal difficulty, and this is not meant to be a speed run. The intent is for both casual and hardcore players to be able to attain 100% by following along. With all that out of the way, let's just get started with the game. At the beginning, you will kill 3 enemies and then go through a door. You'll then be given a chainsaw, and you'll get a small tutorial on how glory kills work and how the chainsaw works as well. You'll want to pay attention to these if it's your first time playing Doom Eternal, and just take notes on how things work. As soon as you come out of the chainsaw tutorial, you may notice that there is a secret that you can see through a small kind of hole in the wall. If you go through and around to your left, you should be able to melee through a wall and then follow a hallway, turning around at the end, double jumping to a toy that links you back to the room you came from. At this point, you'll want to follow the objective marker to the greenly lit cube. Just give it a melee to send it back, and now you'll be taught about double jump, which is a very important but very easy mechanic to understand. Double jump up, and then at the top, make sure you turn to the right and find the upgrade bot or the Modbot. You'll only be able to upgrade your combat shotgun, and personally, I think the sticky bombs are the better thing to go for at the very beginning, but it's completely up to you and your playstyle. After that, you'll have a small little animation where you take your actual weapon mod, and you can basically hold the left trigger to use the weapon mod, and this will be super useful on the bigger enemies or enemies that come with a weak point that we get later on in the mission. You will then melee through a door into a large open arena, and there are a lot of arenas in Doom Eternal. Basically, they're large open areas where a ton of enemies will attack you, and you just have to survive until a door opens up once all of the enemies are cleared. Feel free to get used to the controls here, the double jumping, the chainsaw mechanics, building up extra health by going for glory kills, stuff like that. Basically, just take your time going through. For my tips, focus on the big guys. Make sure you use your chainsaw and your sticky bombs on those dudes, and then try to get nice and close with that shoddy otherwise. And once you are all cleared up, you'll get a short little cutscene to let you know that a door is opened, and I'll rejoin you with commentary then. Once the door opens up, feel free to grab any health you might need on the way out, and you should notice a collectible pretty much glowing right in front of you, almost impossible to miss. These are the Codex pages. I'll be showing you all of these in every level. Some Codex pages are just unlocked through natural progression, however. Kick down the door in order to instigate a cutscene, which I will be skipping for the moment. After that, you just run forward, and directly in front of you, there is another Codex page. Make sure you pick this one up as well. You can press back in order to read about this Codex or see it. Then just jump up the ledge, and directly in front of you, you should find another Modbot. This will allow you to unlock the second mod for the combat shotgun, and it'll give you a small tutorial on how to switch between mods, and I believe default it is up on the D-pad if you are playing with a controller. There's a small icon in the bottom right-hand corner to let you know which mod you actually have active. Then you can also press down on the D-pad, I believe, in order to see your current objective. Smash through the door, look up and to your left, double jump into a secret area where you will find your second toy, and then we are free to kind of proceed a little bit. Now, there are a lot of areas in Doom Eternal which are somewhat optional, this next area being one of those areas. You can go down here and feel free to slay everyone for fun and for points and whatever kind of challenges you might be working towards, but for the purposes of the video, I'm going to skip it completely and go directly to the objective marker, double jumping and then swinging across. There is some platforming in Doom Eternal, so get used to it. Next, you'll be introduced to the concept of weak points, which is very important to try to focus on those points in order to take down bigger enemies more quickly. For example, this Arachnotron, I believe is what it's called, has a weak point on the back of its kind of like scorpion tail, and you want to shoot this off to disable certain attacks from coming from it, and as well as weaken it substantially. As you can see here, I'm kind of struggling. Not my finest moment of gameplay, but hopefully you guys are following along. Feel free to, again, grab those glory kills for the extra health. There's some armor around. A bunch of ammo is littered around as well. And those chainsaw kills can help you get back your ammo. Once you clear out everyone, a short cutscene will open another gate. Once the gate is open, feel free to stock up on ammo, chainsaw fuel, and health. Walk forward through the gate in order to unlock your second weapon, the heavy cannon. Honestly, one of my favorite guns, especially if you're playing on a lower difficulty and you're just trying to have fun. It's a great weapon to set yourself up with glory kills. Jump over the little barrier and you will see the Automap, I believe is called. And you can interact with this in order to basically put a map into your menu. You can press back to access that map. The map will not show you all of the secret locations unless you have already been right next to them. So I would highly suggest you still follow along if you don't want to miss anything. Feel free to practice with that heavy cannon in order to get used to the glory kills. And as you enter the next area, you'll see the word Scott directly in front of you. We'll be jumping up on the truck to the left and then double jumping onto the balcony here. Once up top, walk forward and to the left, melee through a cracked wall, drop down a hole and turn around to find a secret where you can find, I believe, your 3rd out of 4 toys. Then walk forward up and to the left, double jumping up onto the ledge and then double jumping across a small little gap here. And you'll notice a Codex page to your left hand side. Feel free to pick this up, and from here, after looking at it, you can also grab a extra life. Extra lives are optional, but they are helpful, and there are certain achievements tied to them if you are playing in certain modes. So drop down in front of you and grab that extra life. Extra lives are shown in the top left corner, and basically if you are about to die and lose all of your health, instead of dying and resetting you at a checkpoint, it will just take an extra life from you. There is actually an extra life mode specifically, and there's an achievement also for stockpiling 10 lives, I believe. I'll show you how this mechanic works by jumping down to a large enemy and totally on purpose accidentally losing all of my health. You'll notice that the screen kind of goes black and you are given a second chance, and the count of extra lives in the top left corner will go down. You don't really need to not die at all. It's totally fine if you do die. Just try to stockpile the lives if you can to make the game easier near the end, and also help with any achievements or trophies you might be going for if you're playing on console. After this, we are now ready to pretty much go for the yellow key card. I'm just going to go back up here and take care of all of these enemies, as I believe the door won't open unless most of the enemies are taken care of. I'm going to get some glory kills as well, as there is a achievement or trophy for getting 33 glory kills throughout your campaign. I'm sure you'll get 33, if not in the first mission, in the second mission, but it's worth getting a little bit of practice in. And once we can go through the door, I'll rejoin you with commentary. So So you can see here that my objective has updated. I'm pretty good on ammo and whatnot. So we're going to go through the cracked little brick wall. And there's a ton of enemies here, and our objective is kind of around and behind us, kind of above us. And instead of going straight for it, as soon as we come through the door, hook around to your right-hand side to notice a broken wall. This one's another broken wall. And inside we can find another one up. Again, this is optional, but highly recommended if you are following along. These are also incredibly useful if you are playing on a harder difficulty than normal, or if maybe you're just less skilled than others at the game itself. Anyways, follow the objective marker and you'll be taught about wall climbing. Basically just double jump into a wall and then melee it to latch on and climb up. Here you'll be able to get the yellow keycard, which is necessary for progression of the mission. You'll be attacked by an enemy, and you can drop down and just go straight through the garage door if you want. You don't actually have to kill these enemies, but I decided to kill them for now. There will be a lot of optional fights that I do skip along the way throughout this walkthrough, but for the first mission, I kind of did 50-50. Some of them I skipped, some of them I didn't. Go through the garage door and just navigate your way through this part. There's really not much to it, nothing you can miss. I'll rejoin you with commentary to make sure you don't miss the next collectible though. Feel free to practice with that heavy cannon, those glory kills, the chainsaw, as well as probably wanting to use those sticky bombs on the larger enemies from your shotgun.
On the path to a brighter tomorrow. Thanks to the UAC Merger Initiative, humanity will now reach its full potential.
As you reach the train station at the end of these walkways, you should see a very obvious Modbot directly in front of you. It's really hard to miss as you're basically required to walk right past it. And now we'll be able to put our first mod on our heavy cannon. Personally, I'm a big fan of micro missiles, but you might prefer the precision bolt. Go with whatever feels right for you. As soon as you take care of the mod, you'll want to walk through the train car and unlock the frag grenade ability. Basically, on a controller, you can press the left bumper to launch a frag grenade from over your left shoulder. You should also, in the bottom right corner, have a frag grenade icon now, and this will have to cool down over time, so you might want to try to use it on certain bigger enemies. Next, there is a big fight in this room. Additionally, for the Caco demons, you can launch a grenade directly into their mouth. They'll actually make a swallowing sound, which is really important. You listen for that audio. That means that they've swallowed the grenade, and they should open up for a glory kill as soon as it explodes, which is a pretty useful mechanic. That's kind of their weak point. Nonetheless, you'll want to take your time going through the room and eliminating all of the enemies until the door opens. During this fight, I did try to keep switching my weapons. I didn't realize I was out of ammo, which is why it kept bringing out my chainsaw. That was kind of an accident. I was still learning a little bit about certain mechanics to, you know, the finer details about them. So just kind of ignore me pulling out my chainsaw over and over. It's actually because I didn't have ammo in my secondary weapon. Once this room is complete, feel free to stock up on any health or any ammo that might be lying around, and then just follow your objective marker for a little bit. You'll have to hop across a gap near a train car. You can also turn around and get a little bit of extra armor before moving on. You'll see in the video. There's also an enemy here that sometimes attacks you. Feel free to take them out, but in terms of collectibles or any secrets, there's not really much to miss here. As you exit this train car, there will be a bunch of enemies. Take care of them in whatever way you think is your style, and at the end of the walkway there will be a Codex page, so make sure you pick it up before moving on. I actually picked it up here accidentally as I meleeed and glory killed one of the imps. But then we will work our way through a small hallway. There's these little tentacle arms that come out and try to hit you. Feel free to shoot them or just run past them, and then take care of all of the enemies in this room. There's a secret directly above us in this room, but to get it, we'll need to go through to the end of the room where there is a staircase and a tentacle arm. And instead of going up the stairs, go to the opposite side and look up. There is a small hatch in the roof. Go through this hatch and then melee the vent door in order to find a secret area. This is our first cheat code of the game, and you'll be able to activate cheat codes from the main menu if you desire. I'm not really 100% sure what they do in terms of whether or not they will cancel your collectible progress and stuff like that. I'll experiment and report back with more info about cheat codes in a later mission. Nonetheless, you can now follow along. You'll jump through an elevator shaft and then into a room, and there is basically just a big battle after jumping through this elevator shaft. Before moving on from the next room, though, you want to make sure to grab a collectible. I'll rejoin you in commentary to let you know exactly where to find it before we move on. Also, for this battle, I was a little bit confused. I had an intention of doing things in a different order, so the gunplay here is a little bit rough to start with, but hopefully I save it by the end and, you know, grab the extra ammo and health as I'm kind of cruising along. So now that all of the enemies are taken out, we'll know that by a small little cutscene letting you know that a gate has been taken care of. And what we need to do is basically get on top of the elevator we came from, and then there's an elevator right next to it. We want to get on top of that elevator and then drop down into the hole. So the elevator from the left is where we entered, but this elevator on the right, we drop down, grab the extra life, and then we can move on. There is some armor and ammo and health we can grab before we leave this area, so that's up to you. And we'll drop down into a new area with a bunch of enemies that I will be taking care of. You can actually see our next collectible off in the distance, but it's going to be a while before we're able to get it because we kind of have to loop around and come back. So take care of all the enemies, again, whatever way you feel is fun for you. For me, it's lobbing sticky bombs through my shotgun and going for those glory kills and chainsaws. With a good majority of the enemies taken care of, though, you can run through this tunnel entrance, and as you enter the new area, just take a sharp left-hand turn hooking around, and you'll notice that there's a floating 1-up here. You can double jump and then swing across to get back to the area we were just in, and then basically go back through the tunnel and take care of all of the enemies in this next area. Once absolutely all of the enemies are cleared, the portal to the next area will open, so just keep playing until that happens. It should only take a couple minutes here.
Maker is nearby. She is inside that demonic citadel. I will mark her location on your HUD.
So as you come in here, it's pretty much the end of the mission. There are a couple of collectibles to go through and one or two more mechanics that I should probably explain. But as you enter, you should see a Codex that is behind a gate, so unfortunately you'll have to go around. But as you come up the stairs, you'll be told about the fast travel system, which is actually a pretty cool and unique idea. Before finishing the level, you'll be prompted with the ability to fast travel to any other area in the mission in order to mop up those collectibles you might have missed. Feel free to use that, but for the purposes of this video, we probably won't be fast traveling very often, as the plan is to go through everything as it shows up and we're playing through the mission. We took that one Codex directly in front of us from where we kind of entered, and then on the right hand side, if you're facing the direction we entered from, up on the ledge you can find your second Codex. Make sure you grab both of those before interacting with the altar. This kind of gives you the soft ending of the mission, but there is a little bit more to go through. So you can hold X to get a little bit of a mission debriefing, but before our next mission there is a little bit of a base area where we can upgrade our character and stuff like that. But you'll get a summary, and for mission 1 we should have 13 out of 13, which will be the 3 Modbots, 6 Codex, 3 toys, and 1 cheat code. There are different types of collectibles and mission challenges in later missions, which we'll also be grabbing, so don't worry about those. But after all of this, it should load up the Fortress of Doom, which is a little bit of like a home base. Here we can look through a bunch of stuff, get upgrades and whatnot, and we'll have to do all of that before we can start our next mission. So there's a little bit of a cutscene we can watch, but as we spawn in the back right corner, we can find a new ability called Fire Belch. This is activated using Y on the controller or triangle on PlayStation, and this will allow you to basically shoot a little bit of fire out of a little thing that comes out of your top left corner of your screen. As the enemy's on fire, they will kind of bleed armor, and you can pick up that armor. So this is going to be a really great way for you to grab armor as you're playing, and we're going to be using this quite a bit as we play through the game. The idea is you want to light some enemies on fire before you shoot them and kill them and glory kill them, so that you're building up armor and health and everything else you need like ammo. After you learn the Fire Belch tutorial, we can go through the Sentinel crystal. This is basically just a little bit of a upgrade menu. You get upgrade points and you get to spend them however you want. You can read through exactly what you want. The things to keep in mind is that you can upgrade each item and it'll either have an effect on your health, armor, or ammo, and then it'll actually have an effect based on what the description of that item is. I decided to pick one that gave me additional health, but that also made more armor from doing the Belch Flame, so this will kind of just let me have more health and not worry about dying as often. then we can press the portal to the next level and jump through to start Mission 2, where I'll have a separate video available for those who are interested. Thank you so much for watching Mission 1. Drop a like, and I hope to see you for the rest of the series. Special thanks to everyone on Patreon for supporting the show. Shout out to Double O. Peace.